Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our channel. Today, I want us to discuss 3 topics that are very, very important to anyone who wants to buy a car, either from the local dealerships or from the importation. So as what we say here at Explore Importation is that everybody is very critical in the car ownership journey. There are people who cannot import and there are people who cannot buy locally. So if you are made for importation, then you can talk to us. And then if you cannot import, then there are those many other people who buy from local dealers, and local dealers have been there for so many years and they are going to continue existing. And just for your information, someone told me that 80% of people who buy cars from local dealerships, they buy through financing models. So ikuwe ni microfinance, ikuwe sacco, ikuwe bank. So unaona hiyo, as compared to importation would require you to have cash. But now you see majority of Kenyans, they buy cars through financing. That tells you that no matter how much the direct importation business picks up or thrives, the local dealerships will always exist. And that's why you see a lot of car importers over time, they transition to becoming full-time dealerships, because if you only focus on importation, you will miss out on a bulk of buyers who are interested in buying, but they don't have the cash immediately. And you know, banks are very, very complicated in terms of import financing, because you need to do what we call bank guarantee, or you do a letter of credit or something like that. It's such a very complicated process, and simply it cannot work. You cannot be financed by a bank or a sacco to import your car unless you finance your car until Mombasa, and then you only request your bank to finance the duty and then maybe the clearing. And a lot of these microfinances will do that. So yeah, so there is no single competition. We are here in this industry to complement one another. And I always appreciate my so many friends who work in the Kenya dealerships, because we always exchange notes, we advise one another, and we are here to make the car ownership experience for all Kenyans a beautiful journey. So that is the first thing. The second thing, I wanted to tell you that, of course, 2019 cars are getting to the deadline. The timelines for importation are getting close to closure. And I told you that the closure of 2019 will not be immediate. So even dealers in Japan, let's say the exporters, they know how to handle these situations. I told you that as we approach December, right now we can say we are in September. So we have September, October, November, and December. So I told you that we are not going to close the importation of 2019 cars immediately. We will first of all do a phased closure, meaning that we will stop buying cars that take too long time to process, and those are auction cars. So we will not be buying auction cars. Then from there, we will stop buying third-party cars, meaning we will only buy cars from our dealer. And then as we move on, we will stop buying any car from our dealer. We will only buy a car that has already passed inspection, so there will be no delays. So immediately that car is bought, it is booked to the ship, and then it is loaded and it starts to depart. And as time advances towards December, we stop buying cars that have actually passed inspection only. We buy cars that have a ship booking, okay? And then from there, we start buying cars that are already in the ship, arriving all on the way to Kenya. So the journey is still ahead, and how you can take advantage of this, and this is actually what I wanted to tell you. If you are planning to import any car with Explore Car Imports, I know a lot of people follow my content silently and only reach out when they are ready to import. So if you are planning to import any car with us, especially a 2019 unit, you can reach out. Just reach out for a cold call or just for a conversation, and you tell us the car you want and the order book that we will receive, or the interest that we will receive. Because as we have a very high conversion rate, by the way, majority of people who reach out to us, they end up buying. So we know that if 10 people reach out to us with an order book or a request of 10 CX5s, we are almost guaranteed that we will import 5. So my dealer in Japan told me that I can request you guys to reach out to me, Tell me the cars that you want, 2019 units, especially Mazda CX-5s, okay, because those, I would say, they are the fast moving cars. So if you let me know what you want, he can start buying those cars from the auction, and he will have it as part of his stock, so that when you are ready to buy, it will be a quicker process. So the car will be already in his showroom. It will have already undergone the QISJ or the KEBS inspection, and the moment we purchase it, it will start being processed immediately. But this does not mean to say that we will purchase all the cars that you will mention and put them in the dealer's yard. No, it simply means that we want just to read the mind of what is your plan in the coming 1 or 2 months, so that you don't miss out on the 2019 purchases. So that is something very, very important. But guys, don't be worried. I only give you all this information so that you can prepare yourself mentally and psychologically for the process. But if you need any assistance, our number is always there for you to reach out. I also want to address this last thing before we end the video, is about the pricing of imported cars. Of course, there are people who I know online that always support my content. They have always positive views about what I post. They always congratulate me. They are so excited about the milestones we are achieving. But also, there are people, I think they have no idea about what we do. So they come in with some very weird views, but I always take them with a lot of positivity, and I take time to address it. And this is with regard to the price of imported cars. There are people who always say that the prices we are importing our cars with, they are the same prices that you can go into any local dealership here and buy a car. And they are saying that they don't see the need to import if you are not saving money. They have seen me bring CX-5s at a price of 3.3, 2.9, 3.7, and they are saying these are the same exact prices that you can get a car from a local dealership. And I agree with them. You can even get cheaper locally than what we are bringing. But if you are a consistent follower of Explore Imports, I know you know the kind of cars we bring. And if you are asked to pay something extra for that quality, I am sure you will not be hesitant. You get my point? And I have always made it very, very clear that if you want us to import for you a cheap car, I promise you, you can get one. And I always like giving the example of Mazda CX-5s. If you want a CX-5 with 2.2 million, I can bring you one. Okay? I can bring you one. Last week, I saw one at the auction. I saw the closing price, and it could have actually arrived in Kenya at only 2.15. But it was a mileage of around 230,000 kilometers. Okay? And then the grade, it was grade 3. So it was not that bad. So it wasn't an accident car. And if budget is something that you are so much worried about, and you don't care so much about the condition, as long as the car, we promise you it is not an accident car, you can get a car with 200,000 kilometers with maybe 2.2, 2.3 million Kenya shillings. All the way, you can go up as you want to spend. But normally, for the cars that we bring right now, for the CX-5s, if you want a very low mileage car, okay, that is very high grade, prepare yourself to spend a minimum of around 3 million. And those are 2019, 2020 units. The more you go up, 2019, no, 2021, 2022, all the way up, the price will go up. First of all, because of the duty, and also the newer the year, of course, in Japan, it becomes more expensive. If you check any website, you'll see that 2010 vehicles, 2013, 2014 cars are extremely cheap. But the higher year you go, they become a bit more expensive. So what I want to tell you guys, if you see us posting a car, a CX-5 2021 or 2022 year of manufacture at a price of 3.3 million, okay, we are posting value. We are not just posting a CX-5. We are telling you that that car is grade 4.5. It has leather seat. It is fully loaded. It is exclusive mode. It is accident free. And it is low mileage, something like 20,000 kilometers. And we are selling it to you if we import at 3.3 million, for example. Okay? I want you to walk into a showroom in Kenya. You buy a car that has exclusive mode, so that is the top of the trim, 20 to 30,000 kilometers, accident free, that is verifiable, and tell me how much they will sell it to you. To be honest, nobody buys those kind of cars to resell. And this is one thing I want you to take home. Nobody will ever buy the kind of cars we import for customers to come and resell. Those kind of cars are only bought by end users. Even me, okay, I said the day I will open a showroom, for example, I might not stock the kind of cars that I do direct importation for clients. Why? Because if I import that car at a total cost of 3.1, 3.2, how much will I be selling it? Given that local dealers are selling CX5s at even 2.8, 2.9, nobody will come to my showroom. Sasawa. But that is not to mean that high mileage cars are bad cars. It doesn't mean that cars that are being imported by others for resale, they are bad cars. The only thing I have come to notice is that importers, direct importers, individual importers, they come in at a very, very high expectation. They want to pay for a higher value. They want to pay for quality. And for that reason, every time you might see the prices of the cars we bring going up, because people become more demanding, and they are ready to pay for it. There is one CX5 we bought last week from the auction, and right now it is under the process of being deregistered. To be honest, that car will be arriving at around 3.9 million Kenya shillings. It's a 2022 2.5 liter petrol with turbo, fully loaded exclusive mode. 3.9. And it was just, was it 42,000 kilometers? So those are the type of cars that people are asking for. And if you ask for that, of course, buying that car from Japan is expensive. The tax for that car is expensive. So the total cost makes sense that it is slightly above what people call the normal price of a CX5. But I challenge you to go and get for me a similar car in a local showroom and tell me how much they will be selling it. So I hope you guys understand. We are in this game for a long time. Thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon.